everyone? It's Dapo from Tech Economy, and this is Tech Economy TV. I have so much energy today because I like whenever I have somebody in the studio and I'm not giving you guys those nuggets, but that's just by the way I have to do my job. Today we have someone special in the building, but I saw the algorithm from the editorial special, and I saw that you guys are looking to buy phones. The iPhone 16 came out this month, and a couple of other stuff came out this month, but I have Mr. Toby here, and we're here to talk business, we're here to talk economy, and these are very pertinent topics and that we need to discuss. So, Mr. Toby, how are you doing?
I'm very fine this morning. Thank you, Dapo, for bringing me one more time to the show. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so it's not one more time. We've had you like a couple of times. It's always fun to have you over.
Thank you very much for that.
All right, so how is editorial like now? How are you guys enjoying it?
We're having the best of time. We are doing what we like, and we have the right atmosphere in exhibiting and executing the job. We're fine.
Yeah. Okay. So to swing straight into action, the first conversation is about a lot of people were reading about MTN and how MTN had issues with SIM registration and banning. So I want to circle back the topic to how easy and how difficult is it? Why is it very difficult in Nigeria as a system to be able to get NIN registration right? Why are we still having the conversation about some people still do not have NIN in 2024? Is it rocket science to have a great database? Is it rocket science that people are still having SIM card issues at this time? Is it not crazy that you still go to SIM registration spots or outlets and you see, or customer service centers for all these networks, and you still see queues? What is going on? What's the problem?
Actually, let me start by saying that the subject matter of NIN registration could be actually dated back to the last administration, of which the fundamentals were to, among others, to have a secured nation and a secured data. And as you know that Nigeria up to today, we don't have in exactitude or in precision the numbers of people we have. How many are we? Some will say 200 million, some will say 120 million. You know, we have, we are not sure about the data.
Yeah.
And the idea was that let's have the data of everyone on the database. Then moving forward, we could make precise decision. I mean, exactitude will come in place. That also extends to making decisions in the economy, in politics, among others. You know, figures, they say, does not lie.
Yes.
However, what we have over time is like the reverse is being the case. Yeah. Because just like any other issue we have in Nigeria, the structures that will have made this thing work effectively are not there. Now, the truth of the matter is that aside from people that live in the major cities in Nigeria, I mean Lagos, Port Harcourt, just mention it, the provision are not essentially made for people that lived in the rural area. And most of the time, it is especially the aged one, and if you like, preferably those that are not educated. They just get to know that they want to make a call maybe to their son in the city. They will just say that their line has been blocked. Most of them, they find themselves in a very precarious situation that they couldn't converse in the official language of Nigeria that you call English, and they are just in limbo. They couldn't get access to their child. Most of them rely heavily on putting a call across to their child or friends or relatives where their coin trickled in, but they couldn't. So the issue is there are no effective structure to engender the vision that I think the Prof. Patami envisioned, that at the end of the day, that we should have a secured nation. We should be able to say in specific, this is the number of people that we have in this country, and then we can use it to plan. It also speaks to the subject matter of security. That, okay, if we are all registered, then we should be able to track certain insecurity issues. But when you look at the data, how many of these issues have we been able to address squarely? We have issue of kidnapping across the 36 states. It's not an exclusive stuff to any a specific state. It's all around. Have you seen, or do you have a report? Maybe you have anyway, a report that indicate that it was the process of NIN registration, maybe via MTN or so that has engendered. I've not heard of that. I haven't. So this whole thing is fast becoming a mirage, and a vision that is scaring the owner of the vision of the life visioneer. So for me, I want to believe that the structures that could have facilitated the actualization of the dream, if there is any, anyway, behind the NIN has not been put into place. It's just like the year of financial inclusion, that people in the remote area ought to have access to banking.
Yeah.
That we have to get to a place where the mamas, the whole age one that sell pepper in the village could have access to, could put their money in the bank easily, even in their lingua franca. But the idea is just like the issue of financial inclusion at the local is moving or teaching towards an unrealized zone or a mirage, like I said earlier. The same thing is applicable to NIN, because as at 2023, as at September 2023, we have just like 92 point something million, if the data are correct. And this also speaks to the issue of BFN, among others. They are all interwoven and interconnected. So for me, we have not realized, we are not even moving towards realization of the vision or the goals or all the audacious steps that has been put forth to achieve at the outset of this NNI stuff.
And before I move to the next topic on our agenda, I'll just say this. I hope that this whole SIM registration and NIN thing, bag of rice, will not be shared to solve.
Well, Nigeria is such a paradoxical nation, a society that the more you look, the less you see. So anything could actually be done. So we should just keep our finger crossed and look at the next magic that will come on board.
Yeah, okay. So another something that made the rounds and that was in the conversation is a lot of Nigerians were talking and they were reading about how people are having issues with access to payment. And one of the top stories from the editorial part of it is Apple Music, how networks are providing means at which people can pay for Apple Music. But then again, I did my findings and I asked, okay, yes, there has been a problem, and MTN was able to bridge that gap, and I know some other platforms are trying to bridge that gap. But the conversation is, why are Nigerians finding it hard to make online payments that are not local? For instance, now I heard the story of PayPal, how it's very difficult for Nigerians to open PayPal accounts. For Nigerians that are on Upwork and all those kind of platforms like that, it gets difficult for them to be able to pay, even to do the littlest Apple Music subscription, or to even, these things. So there are issues around payment.
Sure.
So are there some rules, or are there some things that we don't know about that the CBN has put in place that we cannot do dollar transactions, or we cannot do transactions in foreign exchange?
Of course, there are various policies put in place by the Apex Bank. That's what you call the Central Bank of Nigeria, in order to ensure that dollar is being, the inflow of dollar and where it goes is being managed effectively. But let me start by saying that Nigeria is such an infant terrible country. I mean, a paradox of itself, that you are a Nigerian, you work hand in naira, but you are chasing after dollar, and that goes to the fundamental, to the root of the matter. As a matter of fact, let's even say that the world is now connected in an inescapable network of mutuality, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will say, that you can work in Nigeria and earn in dollars. The structure and the resources to achieve that, the government is not providing. Now, Nigeria, in their respective ways of achieving their dream, going extra mile, also try and ensure that, okay, if the Nigerian government is not putting in the structure in place, I will make sure I get the best out of my life by working for companies abroad. Some sell for companies abroad. But unfortunately, just like you have said, these people are also being gagged. Gagged in the sense that they are being restricted. Some people could not pay on AliExpress. Like the admin shared with me recently that they could not receive payment from PayPal, and they are fast losing customers. And that is what is applicable across the board. And that speaks to the government policy concerning this. So there are various means that there are various means that which government has chosen to tackle such issue. But
Yeah, even
I want
cash app, even cash app.
Yes,
Like,
but-
Nigerians cannot only cash app
but what I
account.
want to believe is that the fundamentals of policy making, among others, presupposes that when the masses are not getting the best out of the policies, that means such a policy has to be revisited. Why I don't have, I don't have handy now the name of the policy that the Apex Bank must have put in place. I want to believe that whatever the name of the policy may be, if the people, the masses, whom the policy should naturally teach towards, I mean, in Hades and Aburium, are complaining, I think it is high time we came on board to revisit such policy and look into it and see that okay, how do we alleviate or ameliorate the challenge that people are facing. Another thing that looks very synonymous to this, the issue of dollar itself, is a very big issue that we don't want to dive into. And the federal government has been pumping dollar. I think this is the last one they did was the seventh time, pumping dollar, prescribing the amount the BDC should sell it. And the question and the conversation around that is that for how long are we going to do that? Is that going to solve our problem? And just like the late Mastro we say, the late Majek Fashek, in his one of his recognized classic, that for so long, for how long, that we've been sleeping around for so long, that we need to take conscious effort to address the major issue. If the CBN keep buying dollars, for long, and then macro-managing the economy, is that sustainable? We should ask ourselves, and the people at the helm of affairs should ask themselves, how sustainable are these strategies being put in place? This is over a year or something that this administration has been on board. What has been the success rate that people at the end of the day should check themselves and look at it. If positive results are not coming, that means all that has been in place should be interrogated for better. And the people that are managing the affairs, if need be, they need to be called to question. And if they are not performing up to the responsibility, they need to be changed. That is the truth.
Are you calling for the sack of Yemi Cardozo?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that the policy that has been put on board are inflicting pains on the common man. And the government, democracy, as at the last time I checked by Abraham Lincoln, they say it's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. If the people are crying woes, then the people making the policy should be called to answer that question.
Yeah, the people making policy should be called to answer questions. Let me know what you think in the comment section. This is Tech Economy TV. Weigh in the conversation. Let us know what you think about the issues with payments. If you've had any payment issues, you can also narrate your story in the comment section. Also, if you're having issues with your NIN or your parents, or you know somebody that's having issues with NIN and all this registration stuff, hit us in the comment section. This remains Tech Economy TV. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you
Toby,
very
for
much.
joining the conversation. And until next time, this is still the editorial special, and this is Tech Economy TV. Bye bye.